But as I'm watching everybody running helter skelter, I'm like, you guys are actually not even running anywhere. You're still all in the gambling ring. Nobody wants to escape. Hey, hi, what's up? It's Dede here. Welcome if you're new, and if you're not, ooh. I watch K-dramas, movies, TV shows, anything on the internet really, because I like to talk about it. So if you haven't subscribed, oh, I don't have a wristwatch. Subscribe to me though. Hopefully today the video is short because I just watched Confidence Queen literally a few minutes ago and just thought I'd come here and share my thoughts on the first episode.
First off being,
I realized that the Hangul characters read Confidence Man, but the English title says Confidence Queen. I was confused, and so I went online, and apparently the show is a remake of a Japanese drama titled The Confidence Man. Sorry, my neighbors are really loud if you can hear them. The show opens up at a laundromat where we see Park Min-young, who was in Marry My Husband. Now, disclaimer, if you're coming from Marry My Husband, this is an entirely different show. Marry My Husband was more serious, sensitive, thrillery. The tone was a little darker. This show, the tone is really light. It's I believe it's a comedy crime drama. The movie is in Park Min-young's tone, and her tone is very optimistic and bright and bubbly and, oh my god, very full of life. Two different shows, two different Park Min-young, so please don't have expectations, except the expectation that she's going to deliver a beautiful character. That's all you should have. The show opens up at a laundromat where we see Park Min-young, who goes by Yirang in the show. She's sitting at a laundromat watching television. Now, I don't remember anything that was happening on that screen or what she was talking about because I was more obsessed with the lighting and the cinematography and the angles and her. You know, I wasn't quite paying attention. We cut to a fortune teller place. We are watching a fortune teller and a mom and her daughter. The mom came to get her daughter's fortune read, but was kicked out of the office.
저희가 구탈 형편은 아니어서요. 이런 대먹지 못한 것들을 어디 신성한 신당에 들여.
A shrine. It's called a shrine, everyone. The fortune teller's colleague who kicked them out was trying to make the mom feel better and, you know, pacify her and tell her it's gonna be okay and whatever. And then they leave. The fortune teller pulls up in the car, and that's how we learned that the fortune teller is a fucking scam. It's a whole scam. Oh my god. Essentially, she gets you to send her money and you just never hear from her again. Her colleague is trying to tell her that these guys are from a poor neighborhood. They're not going to be able to afford the money. I think the money was about 2 million won or 20 million won. I don't remember. And she's like, listen, poor people are the easiest to scam. And I'm looking at her like, her colleague does not believe her, but in minutes the money is transferred to her and she's like, see, I told you. I don't know what their relationship was supposed to be. It kind of seemed like it was romantic. I don't know, it was a weird dynamic. But they pull up to a gambling ring, right? This is where we're introduced to Park Min-young because she's the owner of the gambling ring. And Koreans do this thing where they might not like you, but they interact with you to your face as if they do, especially if you guys are like acquaintances or something. You just know that they gossip about you behind your back, but they are smiling with you in person. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess they're just trying to be polite.
다시 뵙게 되니 더 영광이에요. 반겨주니 고맙네요.
And then Yirang leads them to a section of the gambling ring where they're basically going to gamble. The whole premise of the game is there is a die painted white and red, and you have to guess if the toss is going to be white or red. Unbeknownst to Yirang, the fortune teller and her colleague had approached the handler a week before to kind of poach him and, you know, get him on their side to basically clean her out. So if it's going to be a white die, he would wink his left eye or something. If it's going to be a red die, he's gonna wink his right eye. I don't know. They were winning. Yirang is so confused because how are you winning consecutively? I don't think that's how gambling works in real life. And so she's suspicious and she's like, you guys, I think you guys have had enough to play for the night. And the fortune teller starts to tease her like, are you guys running out of money here? And Yirang is like, bitch, don't play with me.
우리 가게에는 현금으로 30억 정도는 항상 준비되어 있습니다.
So she switches the handler and sits in the spot. So she's gonna be rolling the die, right? But as the handler is walking away, I don't know how he knew that it was gonna be a white die, but they called white and it was white, and Yirang is like, no, something, because she was so confident that if she switches the handler, they would stop winning, but they still won. So, because the woman had already started packing, she already started packing the money, like ready to dim. And Yurang's like, fuck you. And they start fighting to the point where Yurang draws a sword. Like, bitch, if you don't let go of my money, you're going to die here. But while all that commotion is going on, the police show up. It's an illegal gambling ring. But as I'm watching everybody running helter-skelter, I'm like, you guys are actually not even running anywhere. You're still all in the gambling ring. Nobody wants to escape.
I guess not.
I forgot what happened after, but commotion ensues again, and Yirang slashes the fortune teller's colleague at his back with the sword, and I'm just like, we just started. This is just episode 1. She was just in the first like 10 seconds of this movie. Why is she dead? Is this a flashback? What is going on? Whose POV are we in? The colleague is like bleeding from the mouth, telling the fortune teller to run, save herself, blah blah blah, my love, make sure you're safe, run, get the fuck out of here. No one's chasing her, like she's leaving. She runs as far as she can, and then she stumbles, she falls, clutching the bag of about 2 billion won, the duffel bag that she packed money inside.
내가 잘못했네. 아직까지도 치명적이라면 치명적인 게 유죄라면 유죄지.
Girl, you're not even that pretty. I'm just being a bitch. But yeah, she escapes. We cut back to the gambling ring now. Yirang is on the table, dead as fuck, and the detective walks up to her, and he's like, how long are you gonna lay there? And I'm just like, ooh. Not dead at all. The colleague who was on the ground, apparently when the commotion ensued and everybody was kind of like, you know, he put blood in his mouth, like fake blood in his mouth, so it looked like he was bleeding from his mouth when he was telling the fortune teller to run. So the colleague, Kuho, the guy in Extraordinary Attorney Wu, and the detective goes by James. 2 of them work with Yirang to do the conning and the Robin Hood that they do. They're like a team of 3. They're a trio. And I'm just sitting there like, huh? Okay, so you guys have been playing a con on the fortune teller? They were playing a long con on the fortune teller. They call back to the fortune teller where she's like in the middle of the road. She's trying to check if her money is intact. She opens it and all she sees are like, if you watch K-dramas, you know those yellow fortune teller stamps? Apparently, while everybody was running helter-skelter, the actual money fell from her hand and someone kicked it away and they replaced it with the fake duffel bag, and that's what she carried outside. The original handler, who she thought she approached with Guho, was actually James in disguise. They were just like, it was all a con. That was the moment I figured I'm probably going to enjoy this show.
She's absolutely insane.
James ends up in a cast, like he's bound head to toe. He was beaten almost to death by this business guy who everyone thinks is a nice guy. He owns an orphanage. He's very in tune with the community, but in the shadows, he's someone that they call the Dark Godfather.
일명 어둠의 Godfather.
And he would kill anyone he deems to be disloyal to him. He kind of runs like something along the lines of like a family brotherhood type P. If you just decide to you're dead. Each part of Korea, Seoul, Busan, Daegu, Gyeonggi-do, all of them have like their mob bosses, but they all report back to this guy who is the Dark Godfather. And this one guy didn't have all his money ready, and he just like got pummeled to death by this man with a wristwatch. So he's pretty scary. Based off of what we know from episode 1, he's trying to move a lot of money out of Korea because he's basically an avid tax evader. But you can't exactly move money out of the country without getting stopped at the checkpoint. You know what I'm saying? The musketeers know that, and so they've been trying to play a con on him, and they decided that he's looking for how to move money out of Seoul. We might as well pretend that we have a fucking airplane. So James plays as a captain. How did they even find each other? James dropped his ID in front of the guy's like hotel room or something, so when he came out he saw it. But unfortunately the con didn't necessarily work out very well, and the mob guy Chon Tae-soo found out and beat the fuck out of James. Yirang and Kuo are upset and they're gonna like try to replay the con. I just have one question. During the whole planning on how to take down Chon Tae-soo and avenge James, Yirang becomes an air hostess, like an actual air hostess. We don't know the timeline, but I'm pretty sure people go to school for that shit. So if you have any idea what the qualification to be an air hostess in Korea entails, I would love to know. Maybe I could switch career paths.
Let's not be too hasty.
Somewhere online I saw that she's her character is supposed to be a con artist with an IQ of 165, so she's pretty smart. I'm pretty sure there's an exam. I was already drawn into the show in the first like 30 minutes. I really enjoy Yirang's character. She's optimistic, she's bubbly. I don't know if there's any other shows that she has starred in that her character is this lively. Part of me just feels like there is a level of trauma that we're going to see on her end, which contributes to why she's like this. We don't know yet. I'm not sure. I feel like that's all I can remember from the show. Oh yeah, I'm also excited to know what her relationship with Guho is, because they did show a scene where the two of them kind of like cross paths as children. The last I saw of them, Chon Tae-soo had a gun inside Guho's mouth, so I'm very excited, but I'm not going to watch the rest of this because you know me, I am not watching it until it's 90% completed. I don't know how many episodes Bon Appetit is, but I'm still waiting for the second to the last or third to the last episode of Bon Appetit to drop so I can actually watch it, because everyone on my timeline is talking about that show and I feel left out. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. These are my social media handles. If there are any shows, TV shows, TikTok drama, K-dramas, anything that is just like nice to talk about that you would want me to talk about or do commentary on, let me know. Leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to like. Oh, I've already said that part. Yeah, that's yeah. Bye.